All right. Hello, everybody. KVUE Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here with you on this Tuesday evening. We're tracking a risk for some strong to severe storms overnight tonight into early Wednesday. This is not a huge severe weather threat for our KVUE area. I know after what happened last week, a lot of folks are on guard for any severe weather potential. I don't want to scare anybody, but there is potential for a couple of strong to severe storms, especially across the northern hill country overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So with that, let's get into the details of our forecast. The timing is generally 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. overnight into early Wednesday. Wind is the main concern, then hail, and it's a low but not zero risk for an isolated tornado. So we've had a ton of these overnight severe weather threats here over the past couple of weeks, so just continue to do what we've been doing. But download the KVUE app. Make sure you have a reliable way to get weather alerts overnight. Just leave the ringer up on your phone. That way, if anything gets issued, it'll ping you. And if there are warnings in our area, we will be streaming on KVUE Plus overnight tonight and through tomorrow morning. This will be a pretty widespread rain and storm chance for us, so this is not one of those kind of spotty deals. I think this is going to be a line or a complex that comes through our area. So it's about 80% into Williamson County and Milam County, and then especially back west into the hill country. It goes down a little bit as maybe it becomes a little bit more of like a broken line heading into the Austin area and Travis County, a 60 to 70% rain chance overnight, then down a little bit more, 40 to 50% into Fayette County as we go into early Wednesday morning. These are my latest thoughts on the timing. 2 a.m. will begin first across the northern hill country, and it will go north to south. So earlier, the farther north you are, later, the farther south you are. 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. will go northwest Travis into the northern hill country. More central parts of the Austin metro, 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. is the arrival timing. Then 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. down along the I-10 corridor, parts of Fayette County and far southern Caldwell County is what we're looking at. Okay. What is happening right now? Well, it was hot and it was muggy today. We did have a round of storms that came in weakening, but it come into the hill country the weekend as it moved into the metro this morning. I thought that might keep us a little cooler today. It really didn't happen. The atmosphere has recharged. And speaking of that, as we record this right now, just after 7 o'clock, there is actually potential for a few hit or miss showers and storms over the short term, over the next 1 to 2 hours. In fact, one of those areas is here over the Round Rock area right now where little cell has developed. I don't expect this to become severe, but we'll keep an eye on this. There's spotty potential for some pop-up storms between now and 9 or 10, but the main storm chance is going to come in overnight tonight. And this is the setup. I've been watching, I love to watch Oklahoma City severe weather coverage. I've been watching severe weather coverage there. So Oklahoma very active right now. And then even into parts of North Texas and the DFW area now, you can see severe storms, tornado warned storms are developing there. We have a dry line and a cold front, classic combination. And here in like this general vicinity, our complex of storms will start to take shape and it will dive down from north to south through our area. Here's a look at our severe weather potential. As you can see, a level 1 goes into the Austin metro, up the I-35 corridor into Round Rock and Georgetown and Williamson County. So again, guys, I'm not trying to scare you. It's a relatively low-end threat, but I do expect some rowdy storms to come in tonight. Then a level 2 from Burnett to Lando to Mason over the northern hill country. Let's go into the models now. We'll talk about the timing again, especially over Williamson, Milam County. A few hit or miss showers and downpours will be a possibility through this evening. Here comes the main event, though, which will be by 2 or 3 a.m. First over the northern hill country, so here's 3 a.m. And I think as these storms initially move into the northern hill country, that's likely when they'll be at their strongest point. And then as we keep going, so here's 5 a.m. At that point, Georgetown to Round Rock, out towards Leander and Liberty Hill, out towards Bertram and Burnett and Llano and Tao and Lake Buchanan, out towards Mason. Stormy weather moving into your area. And by 5 a.m., models are still showing that this is holding on to some strength. So these could be some relatively strong storms here. But then the idea, as these move farther south, you can see I think it's likely the rain is going to hold together into Austin in the metro, but likely weakening some. So hopefully these are not severe. Some of them could be, but hopefully they're not as severe as we go into 6 or 7 a.m. from Lee County into Bastrop, into central portions of the Austin metro, out towards Dripping Springs and Wimberley and Johnson City and Blanco, and out towards Fredericksburg and Gillespie County. And then as we keep going, 8, 9 a.m., you can see storms continue to weaken, falling apart as they move down closer to like the San Antonio area, but we're still hanging on to some lingering rain and some wet weather that could impact through the morning commute hour. So even if it's not like raging storm, it could be damp and rainy and slow and go. So plan for that 9 a.m. And it's mainly the first half of the day on Wednesday that has the storm chance. As we go to the afternoon and evening, there could be some redevelopment, some pop-up showers and storms, but the odds of that are lower. So the main event, the most widespread stuff, is going to be overnight tonight into Wednesday morning. As far as the threats are concerned, I mentioned this earlier. I think damaging wind is kind of priority number one for us, strong wind potential. There could also be hail. Probably not like the super big hail like we've been tracking some of back in the month of May, but I do think, quarter size, maybe a little bit larger will be possible in pockets. One of those deals, it's a low but not zero chance for an isolated spin-up tornado, so you always have to watch that. Then the flooding potential, not a major concern for the most part. We want the rain, we need the rain, but there could be some localized flooding, especially over the hill country. We'll watch out around Mason County, Llano County, where there was some heavier rain that happened last night and this morning. The hourly forecast for Wednesday, so still through 9 or 10 a.m., there's a 40% chance for that leftover rain. Again, this probably is not going to be severe as we get into 9 to 10, but there could be some wet weather. And then as we go 3, 4, 5 o'clock, this is going to be much more hit or miss, but a few pop-up showers and storms could regenerate for the afternoon. High temperatures tomorrow at or maybe even just a little cooler than average for this time of the year in the low 90s. But that's going to be our only kind of break from the heat. Temperatures very quickly are going to ramp up as we head into this weekend. In fact, wanted to show you that Saturday 100 is back in the forecast. Sunday, I also think we're at 100 and storm chances are going to go away a little while. So the weekend is looking dry. It's not till early next week that storm chances are kind of back in the picture. Then with regards to the triple digit heat, we have already had our first and second triple digit days of the year. Remember, that happened pretty amazingly back in early May, way ahead of schedule. On average, the first triple-digit day in Austin is around the July 4th time frame, so we're way ahead of that, and I think we'll continue to add to that triple-digit tally even as we go through the month of June. So tonight, 60% in Austin, higher than that north and northwest, so this is a pretty solid storm chance coming in tonight. We'll drop down to 74. Again, stay weather aware with us. Some of these storms tonight could be severe. Tomorrow, the 40% mainly for the morning, but it's possible a few isolated to scattered storms could develop during the second part of the day. Temperatures a little cooler. We're looking at 91 for the afternoon high. Once we get past Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rain chances are gone and temperatures are ramping up. 95 for Thursday, Friday 98. I showed you the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We are back at 100 degrees. Then as we go into early next week, these don't necessarily look like major storm chances, but it's early June still, May into the first half of June especially. We're still kind of in our severe weather season, so we'll have to keep an eye on that Monday into Tuesday as we get into next week. So that is an update for everybody. We appreciate you, as always, for joining us here on KVUE Plus and YouTube Live and all of our streaming platforms. What we're going to do, we'll take a quick break, and then coming up at 10 o'clock, I'll have the new model data. We'll go through everything here on KVUE Plus and on TV if you'd like to watch us there on KVUE. And then overnight tonight, KC is going to be coming in at 1:30. I'll be watching things until then. We'll get a stream started at some point tonight once the storms start to get closer to us. And as we always do, we'll do our coverage through the night and into a daybreak, which will start at 4:30 tomorrow morning. So we'll have you covered here at KVUE. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you guys in a couple hours on KVUE News at 10 o'clock.